Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel released a new first look at Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday in one of the most surprising places, but maybe we should have expected, so we will break it all down. We also have more details on what's going on with Doctor Strange after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I know people have been wondering, are they going to make a Doctor Strange 3 movie? Do not worry, we will explain everything. If you are brand new to the channel, there's a bunch of stuff coming up. And yes, Marvel will be eventually releasing more of their weird, cryptic Avengers Doomsday teasers that the Russos hyped up at the beginning of the year. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. You can always tell that it's an Avengers year at Marvel if they're releasing the weirdest possible teasers and trailers ever. It'll be just like this next year for Secret Wars as well, too. Our latest first look at Doctor Doom comes from some of the tie-in merch that they're selling that people have started to see on store shelves, and it confirms what Doctor Doom looks like with a couple of the other first looks that we've gotten in the past several months, with the rivets on his face, what his armor actually looks like, and it seems like this is a very unified design that they're using for all the tie-in merch, so it just seems like this is a confirmation of what he's actually going to look like in the movie. It confirms a lot of the theories about some of the leaked images from late last year. Anytime first looks at the costumes, the characters have leaked for this over the last year or so, people have wondered if it's real, but there have been so many images of Doctor Doom specifically that look just like this, that it seems like this and some of these other first looks that leaked of all the characters are accurate, especially because they look just like the images on all the crew gear that was given to all of them after they wrapped the movie. There was also a report that Doctor Doom will not be taking his mask off, revealing his true self, his visage, to the other characters in the movie, but everybody in the audience will know exactly what's going on, and the movie itself will play a lot on that.
It's gonna need a massive gargantuan blessing to match.
So it is totally possible that they don't have him take the mask off until we get to Secret Wars. There were a couple of twists with Doctor Doom and his mask during Secret Wars 2, where his face did get healed, but that was a completely different version of the character, and they weren't going for a big Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man to Doctor Doom kind of twist. Like, that was meant to be the original comic book Doctor Doom. He wasn't meant to have secretly have already played some other character and then come back and playing somebody completely different. Speaking of the early concept art, it looks like we found out a little bit more about Doctor Strange in the movie, too. People wondered why he wasn't part of Chairwatch, because he's still very active out there. You would expect him to be helping the heroes, so why haven't they been talking about what he's doing in these movies? Supposedly his role is supposed to be very important. When it comes to Doctor Strange, his original post-credit scene in Multiverse of Madness was meant to set up Doctor Strange 3 in the original plan that Marvel Kevin Feige had when Avengers 5 was still Kang Dynasty, Jonathan Majors was still playing a version of Kang, and they had a completely different version of Avengers 5 and Avengers 6 Secret Wars that they were going to do before they hired the Russos, Robert Downey Jr. to come back and completely rewrote both of those movies. After that, they changed their Doctor Strange 3 plans. That got delayed. Now there is talk of them maybe even splitting Secret Wars, the Russos in Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Secret Wars, into another 2 movies, still making 3 movies. They were also considering this during the Jonathan Majors era, too. If they do wind up splitting Secret Wars into 2 movies, they will probably wind up releasing a version of Doctor Strange 3 between those Secret Wars movies. But at least right now, up to this point where they're still just planning on doing Doomsday, then Secret Wars, then soft reboot of the Marvel Universe into Marvel Phase 7, Black Panther 3, the new X-Men movie, in the current version of events, that Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness post-credit scene is directly meant to set up their adaptation of Time Runs Out. It's a Time Runs Out reference with the incursions. The Russos are basically using Avengers Doomsday as their version of the MCU Time Runs Out type of story, but with a lot of different changes. But one of the things that they're doing from the original comic book Time Runs Out is Doctor Strange's subplot with Doctor Doom. And it's a big twist on Doctor Strange and the alliances between the Avengers. Technically, he was never a member of the MCU Avengers, though. He was just working with them, helping them save the universe. But at least up to this point, he's still considered an ally, so you would assume that he would be helping all the good characters, all the good teams, stop Doctor Doom during Avengers Doomsday. But during the comic book version of Time Runs Out, Doctor Strange comes to odds with the rest of the Avengers, the Illuminati characters, over how to best save their world being destroyed in the incursions until they eventually resign themselves to their fate, and their world, the 616 Marvel Universe, is about to be destroyed. 30 seconds before the destruction of the main 616 version of Earth, he leaves to another reality and joins the Black Priests, and they search for a way to stop the incursions.
You caused an incursion, and we're gonna fix it.
While he's been part of the Black Priest, trying to stop the incursions, doing kind of shady things on his own and questionable things to try and save the multiverse, he also wears a mask that looks like this. All of them wear masks that look like this, eventually learning about a couple different factions in the War of the Incursions, but when he confronts one of the other factions, Raboom Alal, who's also trying to stop the incursions his way and is in charge of the Black Swans who are trying to kill his team, he winds up learning that that secret person is Doctor Doom, secretly orchestrating things, trying to stop the Beyonders, who are the Ivory Kings. He then winds up helping Doctor Doom defeat the Beyonders. Doctor Doom eventually takes their power to become God Emperor Doom, and you have Secret Wars, Battle World, God Emperor Doom, all that. Supposedly what the Russos are adapting from this is that Doctor Strange will show up in Avengers Doomsday wearing a mask and working with Doctor Doom on his team, and it is meant to feel like a very huge betrayal of all the good characters that Doctor Strange worked with to stop Thanos to save the universe during Avengers Endgame. He's revealed wearing a mask working with the main antagonist of the movie. All for similar reasons he did during the comic book Time Runs Out, because he felt like Doctor Doom's plan was the best plan. If you remember some of the leaked concept art from last year, we saw a version of Battleworld with Doctor Strange serving God Emperor Doom in his white costume from the comics. This is probably what that was connected to. This basically winds up being how that version of Doctor Strange in the comics wound up serving Doctor Doom on Battleworld, because he'd helped him defeat the Beyonders and become God Emperor Doom by taking their power. They actually explored this whole idea of Doctor Strange going off the rails and being one of the most dangerous figures in the multiverse, even though he himself was trying to help people and save the multiverse. That version of Strange Supreme was like the darkest version of what happens to him when he continues to do that too much. But the real question is how much the Russos are going to change comic book Time Runs Out. I'm assuming they're just going to simplify a lot of things about that movie, and then obviously for Secret Wars. But who knows, maybe they will wind up splitting it into two movies, because I do feel like if you really want to pay off a good comic book accurate version of Secret Wars with all the stuff that you could be doing, you're really going to need more than two movies. Like, you need more than 3 hours. Some of the changes that we've heard about also have to do with Doctor Doom and Captain America's character that harken back to Captain America Civil War energy, with Iron Man and Captain America on opposing sides of an issue, where you're meant to sympathize with both characters. Neither one is meant to be completely in the wrong.
Flat out lying. Ever. We could just ask the next schmuck who walks through, hey, sir, hi. Hey, we're going to put this all on you. Is it Team Iron Man or Team Cap?
The Russos have said that Avengers Doomsday is meant to just be a direct sequel to the events of Avengers Endgame, with the idea that you could go in and see Avengers Doomsday if you only watched the Avengers movies. Like, if you didn't watch literally any other Marvel movie, you just watched the Avengers movies. Rewatch the MCU, but make it the speedrun edition. They said the Doomsday will explore a lot of the consequences of what they did to stop Thanos during the movie. Primarily Iron Man's line, I think, you mess with time, it messes back, and their time travel causing all kinds of problems between the incursions and the next big reveal. Also supposed to be the reason why Marvel started the Avengers Doomsday trailers with the Captain America one specifically, is because one of Doctor Doom's missions in the movie, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, is to stop the incursions, and he's going after the people he feels like are responsible for them. He had a wife and child who were killed by an incursion, and he blames Captain America, Steve Rogers, for going back into the past to live with Peggy Carter as the cause of that particular incursion. So basically the idea is that it's a Civil War II kind of situation with Robert Downey Jr. against Chris Evans, just slightly different versions of the characters. Doctor Doom now versus Captain America. Doctor Doom blaming Captain America for the death of his wife and child. I think this is also so that you sympathize with his character a little bit more. Like, he's not meant to be an overt villain. He's meant to have a decent perspective, like, oh yeah, Captain America did create this incursion when he went back to live in the past. So it is kind of a bad thing. Even though you're happy that he got to live his life with Peggy Carter, it also caused a lot of big problems for other people that he didn't realize at the time. Very much Civil War type of energy where you're meant to identify with both sides of the actual fight. Going with the Civil War II kind of vibe does make it feel like the Russos are cribbing from themselves because they made Captain America Civil War, but you know what they say, if you're gonna steal from the best, and the Russos' Captain America Civil War, even though it was very different from Marvel comic book Civil War, still wound up being very successful. One of the funny details, though, is that if you actually remember Marvel's comic book Civil War II, which they released around Captain America Civil War hitting theaters because they wanted to use the Civil War title in a comic book, but they'd already done Marvel comic book Civil War many years before. The actual brand new version of Civil War II was not received that well. It was actually kind of a mess for Marvel Comics. It's the original Marvel comic book Civil War that people talk about when they talk very fondly of comic book Civil War. Most people would just like to forget about the second Marvel comic book Civil War.
What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, of course, that's it.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions about this. The Russos are probably hoping that you don't ask too many questions about this or try to poke too many holes in it. This is the kind of stuff that YouTube and YouTube explainer videos were invented for. This is really just the beginning, so everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know what kind of teasers and trailers you want them to release, if you're fine with them releasing this really weird stuff, or if you'd like to see more traditional types of trailers. There's going to be a bunch of big stuff coming up in the next couple of months. We have the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. They will finally release that soon. Then we have more official Avengers Doomsday footage. Of course, I will do all the videos for whatever they do wind up releasing for that too. We've got Invincible Season 4 episodes, The Boys Season 5 episodes, and Daredevil Born Again Season 2 episodes all around the same time over the course of the next couple of months. We will be eating good the next couple of months, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of those episodes. I've already done a much bigger video for the leaked Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. Click here to learn all about that, and click here for my Boys Season 5 trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.